In the last few days, it seems like the whole world and his wife are convinced that Sony has pretty much destroyed the world after announcing they will stop producing discs after 2028, a move made, quote, in response to shifting trends and consumer preference. This comes after Rockstar announced they don't intend to release a physical version of GTA 6, but will simply put a code in the box. I don't quite see the point of putting an empty box on the shelf, because Rockstar hasn't exactly told us if they will put anything else inside, like a map or glow-in-the-dark stickers of Jason and Lucia, though that seems less likely. Funny enough, this isn't the first time gamers pay full price, only to wonder what they actually bought. Let me take you back to 2004. For those who don't remember, Valve had just released a little game called Half-Life 2. To play it, you first had to install a small piece of software called Steam. Without creating a Steam account, your brand new disc was basically just a piece of plastic. The timing couldn't have been worse. A legal dispute between Valve and Vivendi over distribution rights meant that players who had purchased physical copies early couldn't activate the game. Steam users simply waited for the official launch day to unlock their preloaded copy. For those early physical buyers, Valve published the following message: Half-Life 2 for sale. If you have purchased a copy of Half-Life 2, we are sorry you are still waiting to play. This is not Valve's choice. Vivendi is insisting that the game has not yet been released, and has threatened that Valve would be in violation of its contract if we activate the Half-Life 2 Steam authentication servers at this time. Thanks for your patience, and we will update you when we have more news to share. But no matter which side you were on, things quickly went south. Steam servers struggled under the load, not just during the preload period, but again on launch day. Some players were so frustrated, they even filed complaints with the FTC, arguing that they'd paid for a game that was still sitting on their computer, encrypted and unusable. Yeah, that didn't really go anywhere. Eventually the servers came back online. People finally got to play Half-Life 2. But one thing never went back to the way it was before. The moment you activated your copy, the CD key became permanently tied to your Steam account. From that point on, the license no longer lived on the disc. It lived in your account. In other words, by the time Microsoft announced its always online plans for the Xbox One in 2013, PC gamers had already been living with a very similar model for almost a decade. The only company that actually tried to bring back digital game ownership was Green Man Gaming. Back in 2010, they launched a system called Capsule, which let players trade in digital games for store credit. It was an interesting idea, but the market never really embraced it, and the experiment quietly disappeared. In France, Valve spent nearly half a decade fighting a lawsuit over whether Steam users should be allowed to resell their games. Fast forward to today, physical games are slowly disappearing. Digital storefronts have become the default. So, did we ever solve the ownership problem? Not really. 20 years after Half-Life 2, we're still debating the exact same question. Do we own our games, or do we just own access to them? Looking back at all of this, do you think we're only noticing the problem now, or did Valve quietly change the industry 20 years ago, and we're just seeing the final step? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you next time.